Canada. So the planet's coming to a crippling end, is what I'm hearing from all of us. Neither of us have water. Volcanoes are going off. Wildfires are spreading across the world. We're all going to die. And here we are talking about dudes who fight in their underwear. Pretend to fight in their underwear,
Pretend
mind
to
you.
fight. Well,
Yes.
and not only that, we got aliens.
Okay, yeah. So you tweeted
Yeah.
something, and I went like, and again, you're Air Force. So when you tweet about aliens, I pay attention. When those weird dudes are like
No.
aliens, I'm
Well,
like,
let
know,
me stop you right there. They don't tell me shit, by the way.
I'm aware.
Like, I've never had the top secret clearance.
No, you know
Never.
things, and you have to keep them quiet, and I respect that. So when you tweet something about aliens, and it's not the first time you've done this, I always go, what does Mike know that the rest of us do not?
Yeah. Well, the answer is nothing. I read the same article that you guys, because I work in a clinic, and today there was so much drama. I called it General Hospital.
That is a tweet. That is a text you sent me today. Was that you work in General Hospital?
Yeah, I work in General Hospital, which was like my actual job was keeping me from updating the notes today. I was trying to get like a really detailed, like a bunch of notes. Like I want to get a couple of pages of Iron Sheik because I feel like he deserves it. So we will get into the Iron Sheik, but yeah. So this guy David Grush, he's an Air Force veteran. He's no longer in the Air Force, right? But he
you're about to hear.
Well, no, he actually transitioned out to become a civilian, and he was what's a GS-15, which is about, as far as civilians go, is about as high ranking as you could get. And he worked for several different organizations: the National Reconnaissance Office, the National Geospatial Office, and those types of offices, right? And he is claiming that he had the highest level secret clearance that you could possibly get, and this guy is as legit as they come. And everybody that he's ever worked with or worked for has kind of come out and said, like, this guy is not a liar. He doesn't make stuff up. He's as legit as they get. Okay. So he's saying that he has been told throughout his career that not only have the U.S. government, not the military, the U.S. government, not only have they found alien spacecraft, they have found alien spacecraft pilots, aka aliens, and they've been recovering these things for years. And then a separate article that come out today saying that they talked to their sources within kind of like the shadow government, that they have 12 or more alien spacecraft on hand right now. I think it's only a matter of time before we get to see actual evidence of what they call it is non-human origin, spacecraft of non-human origin, essentially alien spacecraft, right?
Aliens.
So aliens, yeah. I think it's fascinating. Do I fully believe it? No, but I'd like to see some evidence. But the conversation around it is fascinating. And I really like it when people treat it with dignity, because I think it's a serious issue. like if we did find aliens, we're fucked.
We're either fucked or the game changes. And there's people that say, there are literally people that will tell you all the advancements of the 20th century came because of contact with aliens, right?
Yeah.
There's people who say Velcro and microwaves and all that stuff that became popular in the latter half of the 20th century is all based on alien technology. These are the same people that will also say that aliens built the pyramids and stuff like that. However, Roswell, do you believe it? It is a city. I believe that the city itself is real.
Yeah, the city.
Do you believe that in 1947 an alien spaceship crash landed in Roswell, New Mexico?
So I don't know that I believe that complete story. What I don't believe is the story that the government told everybody was that it was weather balloons, right? I don't believe that one bit, because they change their story time and time again. I think something happened out there at Roswell, and they don't want to tell anybody about it. Whether or not it's aliens or not, I don't know. Could they have been? The U.S. military tests out all different types of aircraft in deserts like Roswell. And I'll be honest, I worked at Nellis Air Force Base in Las Vegas. And there were times where I was out in the desert digging up holes and taking samples of sand filled with depleted uranium, right? And out there is where they test out munitions and they test out aircraft. I have not seen any of the aircraft, but I knew out there in the Nevada desert, people think of Area 51. It's out going towards there, out there past Creech Air Force Base. They test out aircraft. Some of that aircraft could be all different types of shapes and sizes, right? They're just trying to figure stuff out. They're trying to get an advantage over our, not only our enemies but our allies, and just try to be the most progressive military in the world. So I think it could very well be that it was some type of weird aircraft that nobody had ever seen before that crashed out there, and the military didn't want anybody in on that secret. Something similar happened in, I believe it was the California desert, where it was the F-117 crashed out there, and they kept that a secret for about a decade because they weren't ready to release it. They were testing out the new aircraft yet. So I think it could be a lot of different things. But do I think it's possible that we have had non-human origin spacecraft on this planet, and the shadow governments have kept this a secret and not told anybody? Yes, I do. Do I think it's possible that they wouldn't tell the politicians? They shouldn't tell the politicians, because if you tell
No.
the
Let's
politicians,
talk.
they'll tell everybody. They
Uh-huh.
shouldn't tell active. They shouldn't tell active duty military. You know why? Because if you tell a Navy SEAL something, they're going to have a book about it the next month, right?
That's true.
Like people are going to find out. So what you do is you get these people in these shadow governments, and you just keep them under lock and key. Pounding away on these computers. Those are the only ones that seemingly can take to keep a secret. Unlike, I guess, now David Grush, which was what we're finding out.
Yeah, he sucked, it turns out, at being in the shadow government. Are you familiar with a writer by the name of Whitley Strieber?
I am not. No.
So Whitley Strieber was this kind of average fiction writer. In the late 1970s, he put out a quote-unquote nonfiction book called Communion. That is the book that basically popularized the Greys, if you will, the Gray aliens. He wrote the story about his own life experience being abducted by aliens, and it became an international bestseller. There was a movie starring Christopher Walken playing him, and it was basically this dude in the early 80s, late 70s, who basically got the idea going of these gray aliens who come to Earth and anal probe people. It's become like a cliche joke now. When I was a child in the mid to late 80s, I remember Time Life books would have these commercials, and these would run on like kids' cartoons on weekdays, afternoons after school, and they would show this face. It was, have you seen this face? And they would slap the gray alien face into a slow zoom in, and it would, at like 6, 7 years old, it would terrify me beyond all rational thought. And I would see that on TV, and I would run to my couch, and I would hide underneath the blanket or underneath the pillows because I could not look at that face. And I remember we would watch Unsolved Mysteries and all that stuff as kids, because like in the 80s was all about torturing kids with television. It was great. And they would have like episodes on alien abduction, and like my brother and I were both absolutely terrified of these gray aliens. I think it is possible that I have been abducted by these aliens and I'm suppressing memories. It's possible. I'm not saying it happened.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's possible.
Have you ever heard
not.
of the movie that came out last year called Moment of Contact by
No.
James Fox?
No,
Okay, it's a documentary. It's about this city in Brazil called Varginha, Brazil. And in Varginha, Brazil, back in 1996, the city claims that not only did an alien spacecraft land there, but an alien escaped, and they basically captured the alien. They took it to a local hospital, and they tested it out, and then all of a sudden the U.S. Air Force came in. They captured the alien from the local officials, and they took the spacecraft, and they told everybody they're not allowed to talk about it. And there was this kind of like this U.S. government cover up, but this town is now centered around this story. Like, you go and they actually have like monuments to the alien. It's quite a fascinating, and this is no small city. It's like 150,000 people there in the city. So he actually went to the city and interviewed people that were on the ground in 1996, and their story is very compelling. Like, if they're lying, they're very good actors and actresses. And then they did get some people on anonymity that just refused to show their face. They brought them in like the black mask, but they blurred out the face.
They put them like in the black mask.
Yeah. They didn't do the black
Mike
mask.
And JD Faithful, you guys know what that means.
Yes. So they distorted the voice. They did the whole thing, and it was such a fascinating movie, because if that's just one big lie, they're getting an entire city to buy into this lie, including government officials and the mayor. Right. They are. It seems like they're all in on it, and they're saying that the U.S. Air Force came and kind of took their little alien guy and took their spacecraft and told everybody to shut up about it.
I love the story, sir. The problem is that's also the plot of the movie E.T.
Yeah, it
This
is.
is
It
literally you just didn't have it just clearly was not written by Steven Spielberg with the little
right.
kid having the emotional connection with the alien,
Yeah, they
but that is like the same exact story.
yeah, no, so in this one, it's like captured by military officials, and they talk to one of the military officials, and they drive it to a hospital. They run some tests
That's
on
what
it,
happens in
and
ET.
I know.
Same thing happens.
But 13 years later, right?
Yeah, it's I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna go watch this movie now because you told me to, and I
It
won't be able to
it's
sleep for a month.
I know it's quite fascinating,
I'm with you.
the whole alien discourse, and I'm glad that we finally got to talk about
Oh,
it.
yes,
So
yes. This is why you come to listen to the JD and Mike show, to listen to us ramble on about alien UFOs and stuff like that for time. Yeah.